Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason and I am your watch guy today. Today I'm reviewing a new Upstarter from, you guessed it, Kickstarter. This one is from a brand called Julian Michaels. Now they've sent me two watches to have a look at. These are their Infinity 1 models and they've sent me the blue dial and the white dial for you to see. This is an H35 based watch, which is something that you're very used to on the channel. However, this one does have some unique design aspects to it. These have been sent to me by Julian Michaels. However, I do have to send them on to another reviewer. If the campaign is successful, they will be handing me one of these for free. So you're completely aware of what's going on here, what the deal is. This is still a completely open and honest review. Now, if you wanted to pick one of these up, I have linked their website in the description and also linked the Kickstarter. They will be available on that Kickstarter campaign at 25% off the retail price. Obviously, that will go up during production. With that out of the way, let's turn this camera around and let's see these unique design aspects that make this watch a little bit different. So these are two of the three colour options on the Julian Michaels Infinity 1. These are going to be a Kickstarter release. Now, the actual Kickstarter price has not been released yet. However, I know that the retail is $420 and I believe they're going to give 25% off for the Kickstarter campaign, which brings it down to $315 in Great British pounds. That is £364 for retail and $273 for the Kickstarter. Bear that in mind while we're talking about this watch. Yang from Julian Michaels has been nice enough to send me two colour options. These will be going on to another reviewer after my review is done. It's a fully 316L stainless steel casing with a mixture of brushed and polished surfaces. It is packed with an NH35 movement. In diameter, it is 40.9 millimeters wide. It's 11.5 millimeters thick, 47.2 millimeters lug to lug, and these lugs are 20 millimeters wide. The case on this one is quite basic. We do have some nice levels of brushing on the casing itself, the upper lugs, and some vertical brushes to the side of the casing. You can see that the crown is signed with the JM logo. It is a screw down crown. It has a standard level of grip. Nothing spectacular there. Now, it is an NH35 movement in this one, so first position is a go state position, second position is the handset, which personally for me is not really an issue. However, I do know it is for some of you, so definitely something that needs to be mentioned. Fixed bezel on this one in a high polish finish. You can see a little bit of a fingerprint magnet here. We have a screw down case back on the back of here, and you can see that it has this Forever Fly inscribed on the back with a, I'm guessing that's a person with wings. Usual information there too, and the outer edge mimics the sapphire crystal on this one, or the print on the sapphire crystal. As you can see, it is a flat sapphire crystal on this one. The entire casing brings this in with 100 meters of water resistance, which will make it suitable for light water, you know, washing your hands, shower, that type of stuff, not taking it into the, well, some people would say you can take it into light swimming conditions. Personally, I usually err on the side of caution for this one. As we move into the dials themselves, you can see that we have the blue and white available to us today. I like the accent of the crystal to the blue dial. As you can see, we have this really unique print around the sapphire crystal. And it's all to do with this infinity type of message throughout this watch, and you will see that a couple of times throughout. We also have it in the white. It doesn't accent the dial as much in the white one, so I do think it's lost on it slightly. However, the blue and the black really do have a really nice feature with that. Now, as we move into the dial, it is compressed slightly towards the center. As you can see, there is a radial finish to the outer edge of the dial there, and we do have a printed chapter ring with the minute markings. As you can see there, I will try and get some better shots of that. Applied indices throughout this dial, they're all in a stainless steel effect finish, and they do match the handset in that respect. Up at the 12 o'clock, we have the Julian Michaels print. The indices themselves do have some nice 3D shaping to them. They do come to a point in the center, which is nice to see. A little bit of stylization there. Moving into the handset itself, again, with this infinity symbol type of design, they followed that through from the crystal itself into the handset, and it is present in all three hands. You can see it on the minute, hour, and second hand. Now, we don't have any lume on this piece, which means I don't have to turn the lights out this time around. As we move into the bracelet itself, you can see that is a very simple oyster style bracelet. We have a polished center and brushed outer links. The sides are also polished. These are push pins, butterfly clasp with the JM logo again in the center there. As you can see, unfortunately we don't have any micro on this one, no mid-size links or anything like that, which is unfortunate because it does mean that the fit won't be exactly perfect. We do have solid end links and quick release features to the bracelet. That's nice to see. I'm just going to pop this on wrist so you can see a little bit of a wrist action. That's the blue dial. It fits quite nicely to wrist. The casing itself is actually really well proportioned. The lug to lug is quite sufficient for me, and I think that will be quite universal for a lot of people too. And this is the white dial on wrist. I actually quite like the white dial. I just think that doesn't accent well with that crystal. As mentioned, there's also a black dial option and a few more releases that come with this Kickstarter also. Now that I've gone through the specifications and design of the piece, what are my downsides to it? Well, firstly, I have to mention the big one. It's this bracelet does not fit to the lugs at all. As you can see, there's a big gap there, and I have checked down both and it is present. So I am hoping that this is just a prototype issue and that is something that will be fixed in production. And if they weren't planning that, I hope they are now. Another thing, the minute track I think could have been better designed. I think if it was sloped and maybe it had a little fitting into the crystal design there, I think that would have been a really nice feature. However, with it being like pretty much vertical, I think that it's missed quite a bit. Honestly, when I first saw it, or when I first had this watch in hand, I didn't notice it. It did take me a few hours to realise that that minute track was there, because I was thinking that it'd be nice to have something sitting between that infinity type of design to the crystal. It is a really nice idea behind the design, and you don't often see many manufacturers print to a crystal, so it is nice to see that. The crown itself is pretty small, hard to get hold of. There's a good level of grip, but just like, I haven't exactly got the world's biggest thumbs, but you know, it's not exactly the easiest to manipulate. As well as that, the ghost date position. Some people will not be too pleased with that. And finally, I feel like the handset is slightly off. I feel like it's not straight. If they're going to continue with this infinity symbol as the handset, I do think that they need to straighten it up slightly. As you can see, it does curve a little bit as it comes into the second loop. So I do think that leaves a little bit to be desired. And finally, the rattle in the bracelet, as well as the butterfly clasp I'm not the biggest fan of, kind of did let this piece down. Now, there's a lot to be fixed and sorted out there. Finally, a point to the pricing. I don't know if it's priced quite accurately. I do think that it could have been a bit cheaper, to be honest. If they wanted to sell this in droves at this price point, they're going to have to get people that really do enjoy the piece to buy into it, especially with an NH35 movement. It is a budget movement. £273 isn't exactly the world's most expensive watch, but when you look at some of the watches that you do pick up in that type of market, it is competitive, very competitive. So guys, that is the first piece that I've seen from Julian Michaels. What do you make of it? NH35 is something that we are completely versed in on this channel. It is our bread and butter, as they'd say. However, some very unique aspects to this watch, and it is definitely going to be a bit Marmite, I think. Again, thank you to Yang from Julian Michaels for sending this one in to me. I really do appreciate it. And remember, I will be getting one of these at the end of the campaign if it is successful. These will be going on to another reviewer. I believe it's going to be James at Honest Watch Reviews after me. Thank you for watching this one, guys. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you wanted to check out my online store, I have linked that in the description. Also, some great deals on there at the moment. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.